Oh man, I find it so hard to engage founders in real discussion around their numbers. What do you think drives that?
Yeah, great question. So I'm going to answer that with a story. I was walking my dog and chatting with an elderly friend, and he was telling me that he'd recently been to the doctor and gotten a little bit of a health scare, something to do with his heart. And as a result of this news, he had started to think a bit differently about his diet. He was changing, what he eats, and also, trying to be a bit more active and working out more. Anyway, we chatting a little bit more about it, also telling me that he has his friend from high school, so the same age as him, who hasn't been to a doctor for 20 years. And I said, whoa, that's crazy. Why is that? And he said, well, I don't think she wants to receive the bad news. She kind of has this approach of ignorance is bliss, and she doesn't want to hear the bad news from the doctor. And, she'd rather just be happy and do what she's doing. And I think there's a really interesting analogy there. Founders often have this kind of complicated love-hate relationship with their numbers, in that they're sometimes a little intimidated by them. They find the process of confronting them a little bit, awkward and uncomfortable. Finances and numbers are the ultimate scorecard of, how well your business is going. Back to my friend and this analogy with, the doctor, which of those people do you think is going to live longer? The one who goes to the doctor and gets the feedback and changes their behavior, or the one who hasn't been to see the doctor for 20 years? And I think that kind of sums it up. If you want to build a successful business and have it be financially sustainable long term, then you need to go see the doctor, and you need to know what's wrong, and you need to get some help in changing your behavior so you can fix whatever the problem is.
I absolutely agree with you. And again, going back to the founders that I seem to land up working with, more the kind of the advertising guru, they look at one set of numbers, their return on ad spend, and even that, they don't calculate based on the true financial numbers. I think what happens then is, if you're not being responsible and looking after your business in a responsible way, as if you're looking after someone's health, you're gambling, right? So yeah, you might be Keith Richards and, you live it up for eternity, or you might drop dead at 45 with a heart attack, right? So that's a great analogy. I think that brings a lot of wisdom.